All right, strap in everyone, because today we're going deep on something pretty amazing and I think a little bit mind-blowing. Lifespans. We're talking all sorts of creatures, not just, the usual suspects.
Yeah, it's really incredible when you start to compare, like, how long different things live. We've got research and stories here from across the animal and plant kingdoms, the whole spectrum.
So are we talking like way beyond cats and dogs here? I mean, is a cat's 9 lives going to seem short after this deep dive?
Oh, definitely. We'll see lifespans.
Yeah.
That'll make you wonder, what's the secret? From super short to, well, practically forever, it seems.
Okay, color me intrigued. Let's get into it.
Let's kick things off with maybe the most extreme example,
Mm.
the mayfly. These guys, their adult life, it's like unbelievably short.
Mayflies, yeah, I know those. Those little kind of delicate bugs, you see them around water, right? I always heard they live like boop a day.
You got it. Sometimes just a few hours, that's it. And the craziest thing, they don't even have mouths in that stage. All they do is mate, lay eggs. That's their whole purpose.
Wow. So every second counts, huh? No time for like enjoying life or anything.
Well, it's all about passing on those genes from an evolutionary standpoint.
Yeah.
And hey, it's worked for them. They've been around for ages.
True, true. Okay, so that's like the speed run of life.
Yeah.
What about the opposite? Something that takes its sweet time.
Oh, we got that too. Think cicadas. Those guys spend years, literally, underground.
Right, right. As nymphs or whatever they're called, munching on roots. Right.
Exactly. And here's the wild part. They emerge as adults only after a very specific time, like 13 years or 17 years, depending on the type.
Hold on, those are prime numbers, aren't they? Is that just a coincidence?
Nope, it's called the prime number strategy. And it's super clever. See, by emerging on these prime number cycles, different groups of cicadas, they don't overlap as much.
So they're not competing for food or like all getting eaten at the same time by predators.
Exactly. It's like they're using math to outsmart their enemies.
Nature is so wild. Never thought I'd be thinking about prime numbers and bugs in the same sentence. Okay, so we've got the mayfly living life in the fast lane and the cicada playing the long game.
That's a good way to put it.
What about something more, I don't know, everyday, like mosquitoes? I'm guessing their lifespan's pretty short, thankfully.
You'd think so, right? And they are, sort of. Average is about a month. But here's the thing. It's only the females that bite.
Oh, right, because they need that, what is it, protein to lay their eggs?
Exactly. So all those itchy bites, it's basically a mom mosquito doing what she's got to do for her kids.
Kind of puts things in perspective, huh? But still, I'm not going to miss them.
And don't underestimate their impact. Mosquitoes are considered the deadliest creatures to humans, spreading diseases and all of that.
Oh, that's a sobering thought.
Mm-hmm.
Small but deadly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, before we get to the really long-lived stuff, want to do a quick rundown of some familiar animals.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, so lab mice. Those little guys, they're essential for research, but they only live, what, a few months, maybe a year at most?
Yeah, it depends on the breed and all, but that's about right. Then you've got cows. They can naturally live around 20 years, but
But, we eat them, so.
yeah, that cuts their lifespan way short.
Okay, on to happier things, dogs and cats. Those furry friends, they're usually with us for, what, 10, 15 years?
Around there, yeah. Although there are some crazy exceptions. Did you hear about that Australian cattle dog that lived to be 30?
Oh, right. That's like a human living to be over 150. And wasn't there a cat, Crim Puff, that lived to 38?
That's right. Both of them, they lived on farms. Super chill lives, apparently. Makes you think, huh?
It does. Maybe we should all be taking notes from those chill farm animals. Okay, let's go a bit bigger. What about like gorillas, chimpanzees? How long did they live?
Gorillas in the wild, around 35 years. Chimps, a bit longer, maybe 45 years. It's interesting how even closely related animals can have such different lifespans.
And then, of course, there's us, humans. It's crazy to think that just 1,000 years ago, the average person only lived to be like 30.
And now in some places, it's over 80. Talk about progress, right?
It really is. Medicine, sanitation, all that stuff, it's made a huge difference. But it also makes you wonder, like, what are the limits? Could we live even longer? And more importantly, what does it mean to live a good, long life?
That's a whole other deep dive right there.
For sure. But while we're on the topic of human lifespans, we gotta mention Jeanne Calment, that French lady who lived to be 122. That's the record, right?
It is. And get this, she said her secrets were olive oil, smoking, and chocolate.
With smoke, I don't think doctors are going to be recommending that one. But it makes you wonder, right? Like, what's the connection between the things we enjoy and how long we live? There was that Japanese guy who lived to be super old. He credited sweet potatoes and milk.
Right. It seems like there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Well, good thing we can all keep enjoying our treats. Moderation, of course. But now, let's shift gears a bit. Talk about some creatures that make even a long human life seem short. The real veterans of the animal kingdom, the ones who live for centuries.
Yeah, now we're getting into living fossil territory. These are the creatures that have seen it all, and they might hold some clues about longevity.
Okay, I'm ready. Where do we start?
Let's begin with a creature that's, well, known for its slow pace of life. The land tortoise.
Oh, yeah. I'm picturing those giant tortoises you see on those nature shows, just chilling on some island. I know they live a long time, but how long are we talking?
Well, over 100 years is pretty
Yeah.
common. And the oldest one on record, 186 years old.
Whoa, that's older than the United States. Seriously. That's just hard to grasp. What else lives that long?
Let's go underwater, meet the bowhead whale. These guys, they can live over 150 years. The oldest one we know of, 211 years.
Man, I'm starting to feel like a mayfly compared to these guys.
Right. They've seen empires rise and fall, technology change, the whole planet change in ways we can't even imagine.
Okay, you mentioned something even more mind-blowing before. The Greenland shark, was it?
Ah, yes. This one, it'll blow your mind. The Greenland shark is the longest-lived vertebrate we know of. Average lifespan, over 400 years. And the oldest one we found, 512 years old.
512 years old. That means they were swimming around during the Renaissance. Did Shakespeare ever eat Greenland shark? Now I gotta know.
It's crazy to think about, right?
Yeah.
And get this, they don't even reach, sexual maturity until they're about 150 years old.
That's older than most humans ever get. Okay, I am officially in awe of the Greenland shark. But we've been talking about animals for a while now. What about plants? Do they have any crazy long lifespans?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the plant kingdom has some of the oldest living things on Earth. Get ready for this.
Hit me with it. What kind of plant can outlive a 500-year-old shark?
Okay, picture this. A plant that looks like it came straight out of Dr. Seuss. It's called Welwitschia. Desert plant, only has 2 leaves its whole life.
2 leaves, really? That doesn't sound very, I don't know, efficient.
Well, hear this. Those 2 leaves, they just keep growing and growing for the plant's entire life. And that life can be over 1,000 years.
Wait, 1,000 years? With only 2D wayward leaves, how's that even work?
It's an adaptation thing, perfect for the desert. Those leaves, they're tough. They grab moisture from fog, from dew, anything they can get. Some Welwitschia are thought to be over 2,000 years old.
Okay, that is wild. 2 leaves that have seen, like, the Roman Empire come and go. Talk about low-maintenance landscaping.
Oh.
What else have you got that can beat that?
All right, how about a plant that at first glance you might think is moss, but it's not? It's super dense, really dry. It's called Ureta, found way up high in the Andes Mountains. And it grows, get this, about 1 meter every century.
1 meter a century, that's slower than molasses. But I guess when you're living for 3,000 years, you're not in any rush.
Exactly. Slow and steady wins the longevity race,
Mhm.
right? That slow growth, it helps them conserve water, deal with the crazy temperatures and sun up there on those mountains. They're like the ultimate survivors.
I'm seeing a theme here. Slow living is the way to go for a long life. But I have a feeling you've got something even crazier up your sleeve. What is it?
All right, get ready to dive back into the water. We're talking Posidonia oceanica, seagrass, found in the Mediterranean. And this is where time really starts to bend.
Seagrass. Okay, you have my attention. Tell me more.
This isn't your average, backyard pond seagrass. This stuff can live for over 100,000 years. And it's because it can clone itself, it forms these huge meadows underwater, and it's basically all one giant organism.
Hold on, 100,000 years? That's like, were there even humans back then? I mean, did cavemen use this seagrass for anything?
Some scientists think there are Posidonia meadows that are 200,000 years old. So yeah, they've seen it all. Ice ages, civilizations rise and fall, you name it. It's like a living time capsule down there.
Okay, that officially makes me feel very, very young. 200,000 years, that puts things in perspective for sure. It's amazing to think that all that time, this seagrass has been down there just doing its thing.
It really is. And it makes you realize how much we still have to learn about, how life on Earth all fits together, how our actions affect things in the long run.
Speaking of, we've been talking about plants and animals, but what about, like, fungi? Those kind of mysterious networks underground, do they live a long time too?
Oh yeah, fungi are essential for like everything. And they can live a crazy long time too. Hundreds, thousands of years even, forming these huge networks underground, connecting whole forests.
Okay, now I'm thinking about those like humongous fungus stories. Are those real? Is there like a giant mushroom somewhere that's thousands of years old?
You're in for a treat. The biggest organism we know of It's actually a honey mushroom fungus in Oregon, covers over 2,000 acres, and scientists think it's somewhere between 2,400 and 8,650 years old.
Whoa, that's like a science fiction monster, this ancient giant fungus just spreading under the ground. What's
Yeah.
it been doing all that time?
Fungi, they're not just sitting around, they're breaking down stuff, recycling nutrients, they even work together with plants, helping them get water and food. Without fungi, forests wouldn't be the same.
That's incredible. It's making me realize that lifespans aren't just about one creature living a long time. It's about like all of life working together. Different lifespans, different roles, but it all contributes to the planet.
You got it. Every single thing, from tiny bacteria to the biggest whale,
Yeah.
it all plays a part.
Speaking of bacteria, we haven't talked about them. They're everywhere. So I'm guessing they must have some crazy lifespans too, right?
You're right, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And their lifespans, well, they vary a lot. Some just live for minutes, but others, believe it or not, could live for millions of
Eight
years.
millions of years for a single-celled thing. How's that even possible?
Some bacteria can go into this dormant state, basically shutting down, waiting for better conditions to come back.
So like they're time travelers taking a nap until it's time to wake up again.
Exactly. And we found evidence that some bacteria have survived for millions of years like that, trapped in ice or deep underground. Talk about a time capsule.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. Mayflies living for a day, bacteria maybe living for millions of years. The range of lifespans on Earth is just wow.
It is. It's a reminder of how amazing and resilient life is, and how much we still have to learn about it all.
It's a lot to take in, that's for sure. Makes you think about our own relatively short time here, doesn't it?
It does. But it's also pretty inspiring, right? To think about how much time there is and how life has found all these ways to survive, all these different strategies for thriving.
You're right. It's humbling, but it's also, like you said, inspiring.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, what's the biggest thing you want folks to remember?
For me, it's that lifespans, they're not just about individual creatures living a long time. It's about all of life being connected, how fragile those connections are, and that each species, each lifespan, it matters to the whole planet.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to take a break, let everyone process all this amazing info. But we'll be back soon with the final part of our deep dive.
Welcome back, everyone, for the final part of our deep dive into the wild world of lifespans.
We've covered some serious ground, haven't we? From those mayflies living for a day to like ancient trees and seagrass, practically immortal.
Yeah, and it's not just about how long one thing lives, it's about how it all fits together, right? All those different lifespans, all part of the big picture.
Exactly. But there's one thing we haven't really talked about yet, and that's how, what we do as humans, how that affects how long other things live.
That's a good point. It's a bit of a, I don't know, downer topic maybe, but
Yeah.
important. We know humans have a big impact on the planet, but how does that actually change how long things live?
Well, think about it. Every species, it's evolved to survive in its own little niche, right? Over millions of years. Their lifespan, when they have babies, their behavior, it's all tied to their environment. So when we mess with that balance, like cutting down forests, pollution, climate change, that's got to have some consequences.
Exactly. And the consequences, well, they can be pretty bad. Like deforestation, we're not just taking out trees, right? We're splitting up habitats, messing with food chains. All sorts of creatures lose their homes.
So it's not just about one animal or plant being hurt. It's like the whole system gets messed up.
Right. It's like a domino effect. And it can make lifespans shorter, for sure. Harder to find food, harder to find mates, all that stuff.
Then what about pollution? How does that play into it?
Pollution, that's a sneaky one. It gets into the water, the food chain. It can even weaken animals' immune systems so they get sick easier. All that can definitely make things live shorter lives.
And then there's climate change. I mean, that's like the biggest threat out there, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to even imagine how much it could change things.
Climate change, it's changing the rules of the game. Temperatures going up, weird weather, more extreme storms, and it's all happening so fast. It's already affecting lifespans all over the planet.
You mentioned weird weather. What does that do to lifespans?
Think about it. Lots of animals, they time their migrations, when they breed, all that, based on the weather, right? But now, the weather's all out of whack, so things aren't lining up anymore.
So, like, birds might migrate at the wrong time, miss out on food, or have babies when it's too hot or something.
Exactly. We're seeing that already. It's sad. Species are going extinct faster than ever. Populations are shrinking. Lifespans are getting shorter.
It's a pretty bleak picture. It makes you realize how much power we have, and how we're using it not always for the best.
It's a wake-up call, for sure. But it's not too late. We can still do things to help, to protect other creatures and their lifespans.
Okay, so what can we do? What can people listening do to make a difference?
First thing is awareness. The more people understand how it all connects, how our actions affect other living things, the more likely we are to, make better choices.
So educating ourselves, spreading the word, basically.
Exactly. And then taking action. Support conservation, live more sustainably, push for laws that protect nature, all that good stuff.
It sounds like it's a team effort. Everyone has to pitch in.
It is. And it's not just about being nice to animals or plants. It's about us too. Healthy ecosystems, they mean clean air and water for us, food, medicine, all kinds of things we need.
So protecting other creatures, it's really about protecting ourselves in the long run.
That's the key. We're all connected. And the better we understand that, the better chance we have a good future for all of us.
Wow, this deep dive has been quite the journey, hasn't it? We started with this simple question, how long do things live? And we ended up talking about, like, the fate of the planet.
It just goes to show, how much there is to learn from nature, how even something like lifespan, it connects to so many bigger things.
I want to thank you for sharing all this amazing knowledge with us. It's been a real eye-opener.
Happy to do it. Always a pleasure to talk about the wonders of nature.
And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of lifespans. We hope you learned something new and maybe, got inspired to help protect all the amazing creatures we share this planet with.
Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and remember, every creature, big or small, plays a part in making this planet what it is.
Until next time, happy exploring, everyone.